Good evening to those as you are joining. Good evening, Dre Babe. Good evening. We're getting ready to get started. I'm hopeful that you all saw my message. Good evening. I guess it's good night this time. It's good night for this stream, y'all. It's good night. Thank you all so much for still joining me. Thank you so much for coming, Thompson Rain. Thank you, Catherine Taylor Hennis. We're just going to have a brief discussion this evening. It is an interesting topic. Okay, I know many people are interested in veganism and that it's becoming quite popular. Hi, Shante, half my size. Oh, thank you so much for your kind comments. Thank you so much. I'm just quickly sharing the stream here. And for anybody that may know someone that is interested in this topic, feel free to do the same. So thanks you all so much for bearing with me this evening and for coming on to the stream, even though I am an hour behind time. I know our usual time is at 7. Okay, but I was asking if you all, I hope that you all saw my message. Slightly delayed today in leaving work. So I got home late and I really wanted to give you all a quality stream. So I was like, let me just pull myself together and then come to the stream. So I decided to just push back for 8 so that we could have a nice discussion this evening. I will do my best. Y'all know I can get tongue-tied around this time of the day. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get that shared. Okay, I think I did it. All right. So for those of you that may not be familiar with me, I am Dr. Felicia, physiotherapist, certified health coach, and I help genuine women that are ready and open for change to make the necessary changes. See, y'all, there I go. To make the necessary changes in their eating habits, in their movement habits, so that they can live healthier lifestyles and enjoy a fabulous future, which would include things like being around longer for your families, being able to run around with kids and then hopefully grandkids, living fulfilling lives, being able to move of your own volition, not having, so many painful days, not living a life where you can't get out of bed. We definitely, we want to be here for a long time and we want to be fabulous. Who doesn't want that, right? It's we all have goals, right? And our health should be, I want to say, somewhere on the list of priorities, but let me tell the truth, I want to say at the top of the list of priorities. It's important, okay? And I think that as we get older, we start to really recognize that more and more. But it's also very important to get that message when we are younger, when we can make some significant changes that are going to pay off in the future. All right, so I am the proprietor. I'm off my soapbox now. I am the proprietor of Adderley Physiotherapy over on Mackey Street in the Meldon Mall, now known as the Mackey Street Plaza. There, over the years, we just celebrated 6-year anniversary. I have helped hundreds of physiotherapy patients reach their goals. And now, as a certified health coach, I do hope to help thousands more women in particular meet their health and wellness goals. We all know that we all need help at some point, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So that's why I come here every Thursday for the last year and a half. Okay, come and I try to share some knowledge with you all, something that can help your life. So even if you come away with just one nugget, I hope that it can help you in some way to improve your situation and your current situation and your future. All right. So I think that's just about enough about me. Any information that I do share in this broadcast is not to be taken as medical advice. It's just general information that you can be like, that's interesting. Okay. And before you incorporate any of these changes into your lifestyle, please do loop in your primary care physician, or be sure that you're under the care of a healthcare provider. Okay, so you always want to run these things by your primary care physician. They know the details of your medical history, whatever medications you may be on, if there's any reason that something is not appropriate for you, because you want to get something that is tailored. Okay, even if you work with a health coach. Okay, shameless plug. All right, y'all. So let's jump in. Okay, is veganism healthy? Is the topic of the evening. All right. So we know it's popular. I would call veganism or vegan a buzzword at this point. Let me put my topic up over here on Facebook. Okay, there we go. Is veganism healthy? Veganism, definitely some huge buzzwords in the health and wellness arena in today's world, right? And, we walk around a lot of times just assuming that these things are good and healthy. A lot of us may be of the opinion that, hey, being vegan is healthier than being a meat eater. But is that necessarily the case? And that is what we are here to discuss this evening. So veganism, it isn't just what you eat. It is a whole lifestyle. We only think about sometimes veganism as being, okay, well, that person doesn't eat meat, or I just won't eat meat. And it's more than that. So there's a whole ethical portion to veganism as well. Okay, some ethics and morals. And it includes basically, it excludes animal products. So all animal products. So leather, handbags, shoes, notebooks. Okay, and vegans also seek to reduce their environmental impact. Okay, so by eating less animals, they reduce their carbon footprint, because, of course, animals need to be fed and watered. So the more people that are meat eaters, then it's you have to think about the entire process basically. So how does that cow or steak get to your plate? It has to graze on a big old pasture. Then you have, like, it's a whole process, and we want to think about, well, hey, what is the effects of this on the environment? What's the carbon footprint that we're leaving behind? And when you think of it as a bigger picture on a larger scale, and then even what the world will be like for your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, long after all of us are gone, then there's probably a very good argument for lowering your carbon footprint, and, in some way, whether that is being vegan or by some other method. Okay, so there's a lot to think about. It's truly being vegan is more than just giving up meat. Just wanted to mention that there. And vegan diets. So let's talk more about the food part. Vegan diets are high in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, whole grains, beans, lentils, chia, hemp, and flax seeds. So lots of healthy things. And of course, you have so many different variations. You have people that are fruitarians. So they really just have a diet that subsists mainly of fruits. So very, very interesting things. I don't know how many of you have done extensive research on it, but it's interesting. So it includes basically, or I should say excludes, dairy, eggs, milk, meat, poultry, fish, gelatin, butter, and even honey in some cases. It depends on how strict of a vegan a person is. Some people feel, it's open to my interpretation. And I do feel like in life it is. So if you decide you want to give up some things and not others, like for instance, some people just won't eat red meat, but they will eat chicken. Okay. And that's, I believe, it's a personal choice, personal and moral. So of course, honey, being that it is a animal byproduct from the bees, of course, then a strict vegan would say, well, honey is not like on the menu. All right. So, following a vegan diet can be beneficial for people with conditions like obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, lipid disorders, and cardiovascular disease. However, for people that want to keep meat in their diet, the Mediterranean diet is another healthy alternative. Y'all know we love to talk about the Mediterranean diet on these social channels. And if you are particularly on Facebook, then you want to go ahead and you can actually go to the video section on the Adley Physiotherapy Facebook page. If you don't already like and follow the Adley Physiotherapy Facebook page, what are you doing? Okay, hop on there, give us a like and a follow, and then you're going to catch all of the videos that come out every week. You'll be notified. We did a presentation or two on the Mediterranean diet. You know, we love to review different diets on here. Okay, we're dispelling diet culture. Mediterranean diet tends to be one that comes out on top quite a bit in research studies, etc. So if a person wanted to remain a meat eater, they could follow more of a Mediterranean diet instead of doing a strict vegan, right? And there should be a lower meat intake, and especially red meat and processed meats. But Mediterranean has a lot of the same good food groups in it in larger quantities, similar to how a vegan diet would, except they do allow, some meat and lots of olives and all of that, legumes, whole grains. Good things, all good things. So feel free to go back and check out any of the previous videos where I spoke more about the Mediterranean diet. I do believe that those videos can still be found easily on the Facebook page. Both vegans and meat eaters should cut down on the junk food. So this is where I can get a little bit, I'll use the word dicey with veganism and how it can be an unhealthy thing, correct? A person can be vegan and not lose weight. They could be vegan and be putting on weight, right? As we learned from one of our special guests that came on a few weeks ago, if you were in attendance. But again, it is up on the Facebook page and YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and you can go ahead and check that video out. And if you do not follow me on YouTube, it's at I am Dr. Felicia. Okay. And again, what are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay. It's going to be some exciting things coming. The YouTube page is coming along nicely, and we're going to be doing more and more over there as you see time goes by. So you don't want to miss it. We're on YouTube right now, in fact. So this brings us to our question. Is veganism healthy? So what can vegans eat? Vegans can eat all vegetables, both starchy and non-starchy. Okay. So that means they can eat a big bowl of mashed potatoes. Okay. Comfort food. Nice stuff, right? Starchy and non-starchy. No restriction. Legumes, lentils, peas, nuts, seeds, and nut butters. So your peanut butter, your almond butter. Okay. I love how there's so much variety in the grocery store these days. Once upon a time, we only ate peanut butter. Now we say nut butters because there are choices. This means, however, that many junk food items are vegan. Chips. Chips are made from potatoes, a starchy vegetable. So they're vegan, right? But are they healthy? What's the nutritional value? When you think about, okay, we spoke about foods that are nutrient dense. Potato chips, if you take them and compare them to even kale chips, not as nutrient dense, right? Okay, so just as when you take it comparative to something else that is likely more nutritious and healthier for you, then it's kind of like, maybe not the best choice. So really, it's more so about making the best choice for yourself and for your health. Cookies and cakes and donuts, they can be made with vegan substitutes. So it could be that you're making your cookies and your cakes and you're using these, because there are vegan butter substitutes. Butter would not be considered vegan, right? Regular butter, but there are substitutes. But if you take it and you make cookies and cakes and donuts and you subsist on that, like, okay, you don't eat chicken and you don't eat steak, but you eat cookies and donuts every day. Where's the nutrition? Okay. And we're going to get to when things are missing from the diet. Okay. And mac and cheese, comfort food. Who here loves mac and cheese? Let me know in the comments. So the mac and cheese can really be made by using either a nut-based sauce or butternut squash, making a sauce. So it'll be vegetable-based, okay? But you got that good pasta in there. And I, for one, will admit that I love pasta, okay? But, I mean, my entire diet can't subsist of just pasta, right? I have to eat other things, and I have to be having a rounded plate, okay? Like a well-rounded meal, okay? Thinking about healthy plate, right? And how much protein you should have, how much of the plate should be leafy greens and vegetables or fruit, and then how much out of that should be starch or carbs. You want to just really like have that portioned up. You don't want to be overdoing it in any one area. So that's something that is important to note. And we talked about the mashed potatoes. Okay, so whatever it is, it needs to be like well rounded. Okay, half your plate of vegetables or fruit, a quarter protein, and make the other quarter like whole grain. All right, so think more like quinoa. Okay, maybe brown rice. Okay, rather than like like a big bowl of mashed potatoes. Where's the other stuff? Okay. All right, meal planning is important to make sure that plant protein sources are complementary and all essential amino acids are included. I saw a question earlier about how do they get their protein. Okay, so we are gonna get into that, right? So there are those plant protein sources. So when you think about it, okay, for instance, soy. Soy is a good source of protein. It's a good substitute. Soy milk, that's a good substitute for animal milk. Okay. You have, of course, you have many ways that you can take in soy as well. You can take it in as soy milk. You can take it in if you're, depending on whether you're a person that ingests soy. People have different reasons for not having soy. One of those reasons could be, hey, they basically feed fibroid growth. So there are many different reasons why some persons may stay away from soy as a protein source. So this is why I always let you know, make sure that you are talking to your healthcare provider about your health conditions and your goals before you make any changes, because nothing is really like, you don't want to take general information and apply it to yourself. You are unique. So let's see. Back to soy. So soy is a good source of protein. You've got like the oil as well. You've also got tofu as another source of protein, right? That's a very good one, a very popular one that vegans ingest. Okay, if anybody here has tried tofu, either made it yourself at home in a way that you liked or had it out in a restaurant in a way that you liked and thought it was tasty, let us know in the comments. And so there was a study. I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about this study by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. So this was a 2009 research study, a little bit older, but I thought it was still some good information that I would share. And people following a vegan diet, this is what they found, have a lower body weight, lower blood pressure, and lower cholesterol. Okay, reasonable. Vegans consume more fiber, folate, vitamin C and E, potassium, magnesium, and actually less saturated fat due to cutting out the animal protein. This same study, however, here's the but, showed that vegans could be deficient in iron, B12, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids. So these would be the things that would normally be sourced by the food groups that have been cut out, right? Your animal products, your meat, okay? Because your iron is coming, your heme coming from animals. And B12, I'll tell you where you usually would find that naturally. Calcium and vitamin D, missing from the milk, okay? All right. And your omega-3 fatty acids, which would be coming from some of your fish. All right. So, iron. Iron from animal sources are lower and harder for the body to absorb when they're coming from plant sources. So, yes, you can find iron in some plant sources, right? Some vegetables, but it's at a lower quantity or concentration, and the body has a harder time absorbing it than the sources that are animal based. B12, it is only found naturally in eggs, meat, poultry, fish, and dairy products. All things that vegans say no to. Inadequate B12 intake can cause megaloblastic anemia, fatigue, loss of appetite, and severe neurological symptoms. So often when people are making different changes, this is often why people would get a coach, because you may not know to expect these things as you're making changes. And the person may just say, well, okay, I'm going to go vegan. So I'm just going to stop eating meat and just drinking milk and all of the other things we talked about. So there has to be some sort of a plan for then where these vitamins, nutrients, minerals will then come from if the other sources are going to be cut out, or else you're really going to feel those differences in your body in a negative way. So that is important to know. So inadequate B12 intake can also cause loss of appetite and severe neurological symptoms. Okay. So begging again the question, is veganism healthy? Calcium and vitamin D, because these go hand in hand. So if intake of one of the two of those isn't adequate, then the function of the other is still inhibited, because without one, the other one can't work. They're best buds. So that's very important as well. Normally these would come from milk, right? And omega-3, it's important to heart, eye, and brain health, and in reducing chronic inflammation. We had a very, very interesting talk on chronic inflammation last year. Okay. If you scroll back, you may find that one still up. Maybe. Okay. Like I said, it was a really popular one and a good discussion. Okay. Let's see. The best sources of fish are fish, eggs, sea vegetables. And sea vegetables would be things like edible seaweed, like nori, that you like. If you're a connoisseur of sushi, is that something you enjoy? You're probably quite familiar with nori. So based on what I've presented to you this evening, okay, so I told y'all this wasn't going to be a long one, but I do hope that that was informative. Is veganism healthy? Well, it depends. It can be just as well as it can be unhealthy, depending on the choices that the person makes. So if a person chooses vegan foods that are actually junk food, then it can be unhealthy. If they do not supplement in any way or seek to add in other food sources that will provide them the protein, the calcium, the vitamin D, the iron that they would be missing from their food sources, then again, it can also be unhealthy. And as you hear, have some negative effects on the body. And can veganism be healthy? It can be, just with making the correct choices. All right. So it is always a personal choice. All right. A person can be vegan and healthy, they can be vegan and unhealthy. A person can follow like the Mediterranean diet and be healthy, just as healthy as someone that is vegan, arguably, according to research. Okay. All right. So I thank you all so much for your time and attention. If you do have any remaining questions for me, please do feel free to put them in the question queue. If you would like to come on live and ask your question, that would be just fine. Also, I encourage that. All right. And let's see if there are any broadcast announcements. Are very welcome. I almost didn't like get too tongue tied either, so I didn't do too bad with that. Okay, Rain says very informative. Thank you. You're most welcome. Catherine says thank you so much. Great topic. You are most welcome, and thanks to you all for coming and hanging out with me this evening. Thank you all for coming, even though I am an hour late. I'm sorry, y'all. It happens like that sometimes, but I just needed to pull myself together. After work, I'm sorry, y'all, but I will always do my best to show up, and I hope I get like even like 1 point for that. So yes, y'all, let's see. Concierge PT dawned to my announcements. Nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary happening. Wrapped up the challenge a few weeks ago, so I'm gearing back up to start, like getting more active on social again. Let's see what else. You'll see more reels from me. Let me know too, like what some of your favorite topics have been that we've had thus far, and if you want me to revisit some of those topics, but take it from a different angle. There's always so much that can be said, even on a single topic. Let's see. Concierge PT service is available for anybody that needs to get on the schedule for home therapy. If you cannot get out to come into the clinic physically because it's just too difficult to get out right now, and maybe the person is not strong enough, or it may be for you, it may be for a loved one, a close friend. Let's see, also for anybody that may be dealing with lymphedema, or if you don't know what lymphedema is, but you're a breast cancer survivor and you need to find out some information, some of the do's and don'ts, you can also book a consultation with me. You can just DM or IM WhatsApp. You can reach me on whatever your favorite channel is. I do believe that I'm pretty decent about retrieving any messages that I get. Let's see. I feel like those are most of my announcements. Nothing too crazy is going on. The resistance loops, y'all, they are still coming. I didn't actually forget about them, but just stay tuned. It will all make sense. It will all make sense after a while, why these bands have taken a little while to come out. But let me know, you all. What are you like excited to see me do or talk about next? Let me know. I want to be always giving you all what you want. And I only know that when I hear from you. All right. I don't see any questions coming up. If you have any parting comments for me, feel free to go ahead and drop them in the comments section, and I will be sure to read and respond. I do believe those are all my announcements. It's a little breather right now, but y'all, I'm gonna have so much more coming and in store for you all. Okay, someone says that I get 5 points for showing up. Thank you for showing up with consistency, and I do so appreciate you all for joining me. I see nothing else coming up in the comment section. So with that, I will get ready to sign off. I hope to see you back here next week on these same social media outlets. Don't forget to give me a follow, like, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. What else? TikTok, Pinterest. What else? There's more. Snapchat. I am Dr. Felicia on pretty much all of those outlets except Facebook. Still Adley Physiotherapy on Facebook. All right. So this is Dr. Felicia signing off for the evening, making the world healthier, one woman at a time. Hope to see you all back here next week. Back to 7 p.m. Eastern, unless otherwise noted. Thank you and good night.